Wow. Okay, we live. Be on the Blog Talk Radio live. Let's go. You know what I'm saying? Hey, let's go live. Let's go. Let's do what it do, y'all. Let's make history. Let's take history. Let's tape history. We are experiencing some. I ain't gonna try that no more. Okay, I know we on YouTube and everything else though. We gonna do what it do. Blog Talk, bring me on in. Freedom on Radio, Intellectual Radio. Let's do what it do. Let's do what it do. Come on in. We locked and loaded, y'all. Heads up, eyes open, the fist clench, y'all. Let the word be known. I cannot get on Facebook Live. I cannot get on my Facebook Live. Hey, shutting me down. So, Sister Comrade, I need you to let people know that I am unable to get on Facebook Live. But we are live on Intellectual Radio. 708-223-8953. We got an hour to go. We actually 7:25 Central Time. So 7:25 Central Time. So we're gonna see if we can deal with this later on. But in the meantime, between time, we got to make history, take history, and tape history, y'all. We are experiencing technical, if not yet, or if not that, we assume political difficulties, y'all. We intended for a 5 show. We're gonna still roll. We're going let's go straight into it, y'all. Let me know, Sister Comrade, do we have any callers in queue? Because we got a few things we want to go into. What's happening in Puerto Rico? What is happening in Puerto Rico? We want to talk about the recent release of long-held political prisoner Delbert Africa. We want to talk about the groundbreaking decision. The first and foremost, extend clenched fist to the comrades, to the community, in regards to the Moms for Housing campaign. We will update y'all on the exchange, the Sister Cities exchange program. For those who know the Sister Cities, in regards to the Black Panther Party, do a little research, because you hear that term Sister Cities. Some people talking about, like, I think Chicago and Paris are referenced as Sister Cities, and they have, you know what I'm saying, or yeah, maybe Paris. But the Black Panther Party had deemed Oakland, California, and Chicago to be Sister Cities. This being, ironically, the birthplace of the Black Panther Party and the largest branch, well, subsequently goes to the largest chapter of the Black Panther Party. But I need y'all to check into that. And that's what's going on today. We're going to talk about the Sister Cities Exchange Program. We're going to be seizing the time with major campaigns the Cubs have been engaging in, that are to say the Hampton House, as well as that of the Moms for Housing. Also, we're going to be working on down Nashville, Tennessee, y'all, up there, and what's happening down there without the elderly sister. And also Adam and LA going to be hitting us in, calling in about this housing contradiction that's been going on too long. And we talk about basic human rights, food, clothing, and shelter, y'all. You know, we got to tell this in. Let's get to it. Again, y'all let people know that I am unable to tune in on Facebook. They have stopped me on Facebook. Again, I am not able to get on Facebook. We are live and direct, y'all. Call in 708-223-8953. Any follow-ups on what's happening in Parch, Mississippi, in the penitentiary, the concentration camps throughout the country. Notice they just gave a guy 12 years in Memphis. He had a cell phone. Now, this is similar to the Stateville. And when you start the photographs of by Richard Speck in Stateville with the cocaine and everything, that's when you couldn't take no more photographs on visit. That's when it became a problem. Before that, it was a problem. It was not a problem. Once you start exposing these contradictions, we see this intensified attack start coming down. Okay, this got 12 years, you know what I'm saying, in Memphis for a cell phone. But if cats is talking about partying and BS, it's no problem. Once you start to expose what's going on in our community, it becomes a problem. Sister Comrade, do we have any callers in queue? Y'all, please press 1, y'all. We said free them all. We're going to be expecting some calls. We're talking about what's happening in Puerto Rico, what's happening in Oakland, California, Moms for Housing campaign. And so we're going straight to 725, y'all. So get it in. I don't know if I'm all the way up this Facebook. I'm steady trying. I'm getting a blank screen, y'all. So, so we come down to, we got to use 2 tin cans and a string. So be it. We on a high, as you know what I'm saying, or as what Chairman Fred said, 2 proletarian revolutionary intoxicated to be astronomically intimidated. 2 proletarian revolutionary intoxicated to be astronomically intimidated. In other words, too high of the people to be shook up. This last week alone, it's been back to back, y'all. Back to back. Oakland, California, historical stomping ground, birthplace of the Black Panther Party. We right there on the ground. You know what I'm saying? Y'all go check out some of the footage, you know what I'm saying? In regards to the campaign for Moms for Housing. We had the heavies out there. We had Central Committee members right there, you know what I'm saying, organizing, laying this out point by point. We had the Cubs in general, the community. Man, not to mention these sisters, y'all. And I'm saying these sisters with SISTAHS, straight no chaser. You dig what I'm saying? Shout out. Sister Tola, Sister Dominique, Sister Missy, and their families, the Destiny, the children, the community, the comrades all over. That, you know what I'm saying? They were vamped on, locked up, attacked, slandered, you know what I'm saying? You're still told the line, you know what I'm saying? And and man, like, man, strategic moves, you know what I'm saying? Again, Central Committee members, you know what I'm saying? Central Communication Secretary Carol, Field Marshal Torr, Deputy Field Marshal Chase, comrades, the people was out there on deck, you know what I'm saying? So revolutionary love and respect. And check out on YouTube the press conference in Alameda County. Now, y'all familiar with Alameda County? Y'all heard that word before. That's the same infamous county. We talk about the case that framed the late great visionary Minister U.E.P. Newton. You know, so that's what Oakland, California is encompassed inside Alameda County. And we we were targeted with Alameda County before us a few years back. You know what I'm saying? But they actually, when it was raised to the administration, to the mayor, Libby Schaff in Oakland, California, raised to the different city council members. Why would y'all bring these army tanks to evict these sisters out their homes? Sheriff Kelly, Alameda County, he said himself, he said, due to the individuals that were in the house, due to the people who we know who had flew into Oakland to deal with this here, that's why we came like we came. And I just want to again, the contradictions were heightened. They're still being heightened. And and just want to say again, as Minister U.P. said, without the people, revolution is impossible. And we are with a politics that transcends geographical, gender, and generational lines. It's contagious. It's contagious. You know what I'm saying? People are calling the question, like, we hear people saying, well, they should have paid their bills. They shouldn't be homeless. The typical reactionary responses to indict the people, to criminalize the community. I like how some sister put a post up on Facebook. She said, y'all the same sort of cats that would have been saying Rosa Parks should have got a car. Why she should have her own car. She shouldn't be on the trim out no bus seat. And God forbid y'all get talking about oh my God, I can't believe I forgot our sister's name. I can't even go online. My sister who initially challenged the segregation on the forced being seated on the back of the bus. They come to me in a minute. They're gonna get me twisted with this Facebook. All of this is shut down on the Facebook, but they come to me in 1 minute. But it's contagious, you know what I'm saying? And we want to commend the community, y'all. What's happening? So we live again on YouTube and other venues. Delbert Africa. Y'all, those who remember 1978, August 8th, they were attacked in Philadelphia. And this is, and prior to that, there were a number of different dry runs where the infamous Frank Rizzo and others, you know what I'm saying? It was just an overnight thing, constantly attacking the MOVE organization. And we've seen it culminate to the point where Delbert was out with his arms sprawled open and they were attacked. And the MOVE now was given a trumped up case. They said the state said they supposed to shot and kill the police, but everyone up until this day talks about how it's impossible for them for MOVE have done that. But we are clear that the real reason MOVE was locked up. They were targeted. Delbert Africa was one of those who has just been released. We've been getting some phenomenal news back to back from Mike and Debbie Africa, Janine and Janet Eddie Africa. We still fighting for Chuck and others to get out. Claudette Colvin, right on, co-host, right on. Yeah, I can move to Claudette Colvin. Claudette Colvin, you know what I'm saying? Y'all don't know what that is. Check, this is the sister who was not the quote unquote politically quote unquote correct image to fight the case, but she challenged prior to Rosa Parks. She challenged the whole seating contradiction. We still fight with Chuck and Mumia Abuja and so many others who are still here at those concentration camps. I was in New York prior to that. The Martin Luther King, and this, a lot of people say, man, what's to this? What chairman doing on the panel? They got Sister Notori, forgive me if I get her last name, sister who she's known many rings, but she plays Tasha in Power. She's on the panel. She presented. It wasn't the panel. She presented. J. Cole, Marshawn Lynch, so many other. You know what I'm saying? Ryan Coogler had MC the event, and this was Hampton. Right on. Come on with it, Coles. Right on. You know what's crazy? I'm getting messages. I'm getting messages on the Facebook. They won't let me go on the thing. It ain't crazy. Yeah, it ain't crazy. Yeah, it ain't crazy. It's counterinsurgency. Yeah. Yes. Okay. Look for a call from I think of 3 months. Getting the press one. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Give a call. We talk what's happening in Puerto Rico. We got Rosa Clemente calling in. Yeah, I can't go live, y'all. But again, we live on YouTube. You know what I'm saying? But it was the panel, and the panel was phenomenal. I mean, not the panel. I keep saying panel. The speakers and I had recited one of Chairman Fred's speeches. You know what I'm saying? But it's, you have revolutionaries, you have athletes. Art is different. This is good to acknowledge these contradictions. A lot of times people want to believe that, especially with revolution, everybody's revolutionary. But we have to know that everybody is not. And again, it's no bad thing. But different people come from different points, different walks of life. Y'all, they can't offer. Y'all forgive me. I don't do no commercials for no place somewhere. And right on. My sister text me, Donna Hilton. This sister here. I gotta acknowledge this sister here. 20. You can't text me the brother's name. Also, I met with you. Yeah. Clifford. Makes man. 27 years locked up. She, since she raised, she's in the East Coast. Make sure y'all touch down with him. We're gonna be following up with her. We're gonna get online with us too on the show. 27 years she's locked up. You know what I'm saying? I had to take issue that we in a society that we are in a society that those numbers roll off our lips so easily. You know what I'm saying? Dealt with Africa. You know what I'm saying? I mean, oh man, so my cousins got out doing for 20-something years. I mean, it's become normal, that type of conversation, you know what I'm saying, to meet people, you know what I'm saying? And so we have to really, really heighten these contradictions, you know what I'm saying? Because again, jail is a foreign entity to our people, man. You know what I'm saying? This ain't, in my words, this ain't living, man. And we got to really challenge these contradictions, man. Real talk, y'all. So let's make history, take history, tape history. Again, this is Donna. I think she's tuning in with us too. She's doing some work down there. We're gonna get all that, tell us some of the work she's doing. People from all over the world were there. I left New York. Bam, got the word. There with Africans at a press conference. Touched in Philadelphia. Stuck and moved. We hear about words, and I was talking to the comrade of the day, and since she's making mention, she said, "Man, I mean, this a meteor." You know what I'm saying? You hear about these, somebody locked up for life, and after a while you become immune to them. In Puerto Rico, with the terms they're saying that's happening, that it becomes common to us that earthquakes, meteor, you know what I'm saying? Even images of the resources, and this is another. We a lot of us become immune after Hurricane America. Knows how to say Hurricane Katrina, Hurricane America. We say Katrina ain't kill nobody. Just get credit where credit's due. The resources that the state had is not a question of them not having. It's not a question of the state not having resources. They have houses. They have houses. People, can get houses. Y'all tune in to YouTube too. Y'all can hear me. I'm on YouTube Live too. Intellectual Radio. It's not it's be different if they don't have that. They have housing, and we've seen the resources where it's allocated to when it comes to education. Where it's allocated to this, you know what I'm saying? We've seen over 50 public schools closed in Chicago. But we've seen immediately after that the resource that Mayor Rahm Emanuel allocated to DePaul University. We've seen the contradiction that, to go down on the red line, but we've seen the resource, the $2 billion allocated to the green line. In other words, areas was not the black communities at. We know how crime can be stopped in other arenas. They they just the water alone that was exposed, that was being hoarded. Now I know we see. I ain't talking about no human beings hoarding. I'm talking about the TV show hoarding. I'm talking about institution, state. People ain't got no water, no food in Puerto Rico. You seen the community busted. I mean, busted open. I remember we was in Big Muddy River. We call it Big Bloody River. One of the prisons, one of the concentration camps. We got back to the back. They had lobster and everything. You know what I'm saying? They claim was going to the prisoners. This is a holy. You know what I'm saying? We ain't seen none of this. You know what I'm saying? So the state has resources. With that said, Sister Kamara, if you can, we got a call in queue. Might be a three. I can't remember the first three digits. Let me get a call in queue. Fremont. Welcome to Fremont Radio. 518. Caller. Hey, right on. Revolutionary appreciation for calling in, man. Man, good thanks. Right on. So, my Facebook is down. They state is doing their thing. I'm not going live right now, but we are live on YouTube. We on Intellectual Radio. So if you can't let people know, I know you make moves with that, getting the word out on their social media and everything else. So let them know that you're live and direct with us on Freedom on Radio and Intellectual Radio. Let's go into it. You know what I'm saying? We I was rapping with you the other day, and you know what I'm saying, we talking about just even the terms, what's happening, you know what I'm saying, in Puerto Rico. Give us some updates, you know what I'm saying, and we'll talk about that's the contradictions about the resources that are being hoarded there, you know what I'm saying, who's in who's complicit with these crimes that, you know what I'm saying, that people are starving and being wiped out intentionally. So again, take us to the ground. What's happening in Puerto Rico, Comrade? What's happening?
Yeah, thank you for having me. I mean, I think first and foremost, it's very important to people always recognize that Puerto Rico is a colony, and we've been a colony of the United States since 1898. Yes. So although in 1917, we were made American citizens without anyone asking us. So for me, the issue in Puerto Rico is a historical colonial issue and an imperialist issue that nothing will ever be solved until we get full freedom from the United States of America and are able to be our own nation and have our own relationships with the international community. So the Puerto Rico where we're at right now, it really began in 2008 with the housing crisis in the United States hit Puerto Rico just as hard, and a lot of Wall Street started up buying bonds. And then in about 3.5 years ago, all the Wall Street bondholders hauled in their money, and by that time, Puerto Rico was already about $175 million in a deficit, due also to the corrupt nature of our elected governors, which I call appointed colonial administrators. So we've been in crisis for a while financially. So when Hurricane Maria and Irma hit, it basically blew out the grid, and in some places for an entire year. And before that, there have been rolling blackouts. So now that the electrical grid was also a contract that was corrupted by the governor, in which the former governor took $75 million kickback from almost non-existent company in Minnesota called Whitefish that was actually owned by Ryan Zinke, who works in the Trump administration. So the grid has not been fixed. Because when it is up, it continues to fail because it's that old. And then recently, now in the last 2 weeks, we've had 4 major 5.0 earthquakes and above, but also over 1,800 tremors. And at the moment, the tectonic plates have shifted in Puerto Rico, and the island has actually moved, which also led to a lot of destruction of national monuments that were there one day and no longer, or nature monuments that were there. So where we're at now in Puerto Rico, then the meteorite hit us.
The what? The
So
what? The what?
what's going on is what you. Yeah,
The-
I mean, we didn't know. In fact, I think I knew that yesterday. So when I saw you in Harlem,
yeah.
I had just heard about that.
Mm-hmm.
So, what it really comes down to is not only disaster capitalism, imperialism, and colonialism. Puerto Rico is now the island nation that is bearing the brunt of the climate catastrophe that we're in. And the other part of it, when we look at solutions, right,
Yes.
is this. When Hurricane Maria and Irma hit, a lot of older folks and maybe some younger folks would always say, well, we as Puerto Ricans can't be free because we can't survive without the United States government. And that's really a colonized colonial mentality that have been refined.
Yes.
But after Hurricane Maria hit, the government abandoned us and everything that we've done for ourselves, particularly young people. So, right, young people are beginning to farm again. The rainforest is coming back, particularly like lesbian, gay, bi, sexual, trans youth are really leading a lot of powerful movements. But the feminist collective, which is made up of Afro-Latina women, Afro-Boricuas, is also been the kind of organization on the forefront. And they're the ones that started the campaign to get the former governor out of office. So what I like to say about Puerto Rico is because we have to deal with all of this, our resistance has become stronger. But people have to keep an eye on Puerto Rico because the debt we're in, this is where we're at with three major things. We need a cancellation of the debts. We need a cancellation of the Jones Act, which does not allow other international communities to help us. And we need to be within the international community and move the island to self-determination and self-governance, right?
Yes.
But at the same time in Puerto Rico, the corruption continues to grow. And at this current moment, we have the highest murder rate of women in the Western Hemisphere, and women are being disappeared on our island as well. So there's a lot of things happening there.
When you hear, or you say colonized, and we hear about places like Puerto Rico, Haiti, Cuba, what have you, or even colonized communities within the state, within the United States, and it's a and the U.S. with this U.S. imperialism puts out propaganda like they're caretakers, like kind of similar like the similar argument that they run about welfare, like saying that the people are just milking the system. Actually, is corporations and businesses that saying they reap the actual benefits from so whether we talk about welfare, so on and so forth. This whole and the irony of that, Puerto Rico, other places that if U.S. imperialism was to take its tentacles off, how these places can thrive and survive, just if they have self-determination. What are some, and like we look at different places, saying throughout the world, the different industries and the resources, from fruits to vegetables to all type of raw resources that the system benefits from, from colonized community. Why won't what is some of the, we know about the Navy training and the bombing in Vieques. What are some of the benefits? Why does U.S. imperialism still have a struggle to keep a stranglehold on Puerto Rico?
Well, because for 50 years, corporations have extracted from Puerto Rico. They've extracted human labor. They've extracted our mines, like where in the middle of the island is a place called Utuado, which the Puerto Rican independence national movement comes from, and it's always been repressed. But as well, we have high levels of uranium in there, and that's what corporations are doing now. They're mining without permission. So we were talking about by the mid-30s, almost every corporation was in Puerto Rico, including Johnson & Johnson, and in Puerto Rico was where they tested birth control on our women before they actually even put birth control, the pill, or the IUD on the market. The thing also with Puerto Rico is we've always resisted, right? So we've had nationalist leaders resist in revolutionary violence, whether it was Pedro Albizu Campos or Lolita LeBron, who with her two comrades went to the White House, the chambers of the Congress, and shot for freedom. We've had Puerto Rican political prisoners. Most of your folks, and of course you know about Oscar Lopez Rivera, just recently coming out, but also the FALN, which came out of Chicago, and all the comrades that came out and are still there. So I really think the thing in Puerto Rico is not that the people are not resisting. It's we have no control over earthquakes, or right, like we don't know when we might know when the next hurricane hits. But what I did find interesting when I was in Puerto Rico after the hurricane is when I was looking at news footage of how Cuba also got hit with the hurricane, but they were up and online within 2 days. You know, so that really shows what American imperialism, but also corporate extraction. We literally have no sound foundation in Puerto Rico, whether it's the land, the governance, or our ability to self-determine. And much like in Chicago, where so many schools have been closed, the last 4 years in Puerto Rico, over 340 schools have shut down because the corrupt governor and his minions were stealing money. And we have 340 public schools from elementary to high school that no longer exist. So what is happening is not only a purposeful genocide, which has been happening since 1898, but now a forced exodus, because there's nothing in Puerto Rico. Pensions are being cut. There's still rolling blackouts. The water is contaminated. Doctors are leaving because Trump refused to release Medicaid funds that would pay the doctors. And young people, not only can't they finish middle or high school, they can't finish college because they can't afford the tuition. And unfortunately, Puerto Rico has a 67% unemployment rate because there are no jobs and no businesses left. So what I tell people is, look, know about Puerto Rico, especially the relationship in Chicago with our Puerto Rican brothers and African American sisters has always been the strongest. But outside of Chicago and New York, most people don't know the history of Puerto Rico. Second, you can go online to my website, PR on the Map. You can see what people are doing on the ground, especially very progressive leftist, even anarchist organizations. And that third, that we must always talk about Puerto Rico, especially when we are having conversations and organizing with African American brothers and sisters, because the thing is that what we do share implicitly is this American citizenship, which actually means nothing for African American folks, don't mean nothing for Puerto Rican folks. But you can see the resistance and how we have all been tied together, especially within our political prisoners and our freedom fighters. And of course, if people don't know, and they should know, right, that your comrade and your father, Fred Hampton Sr., was the reason that Chacha Jimenez moved in what he was doing and created the Young Lords organization. And that's very important, and people in Puerto Rico also realize that and that relationship.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. How is what is the familiarity of those within before I go there, can you give us you distinguished early, you may mention earlier about it being a colony, and then and give us like help us understand the relationship, and I'm using that term kind of loosely, that the U.S. has with Puerto Rico. Like, are the voting process? Are they, what I'm saying? Is it can people in Puerto Rico vote? What's the, what I'm saying? Can people? Do you need a passport to go to Puerto Rico? What's the connection? How and what's the are those in Puerto Rico familiar with what's going on in the States? I'm saying this because I know in many cases, even within certain cities, the system, sometimes we see in different prisons, they would break up cell houses, and people would not know what's going on from one cell house to another cell house, the south side from the west side. So I want to, if we can, because those geographical borderlines, sometimes the system plays them up bigger than they are. What's the connection? I mean, what are the phenomenons there? Is hip hop phenomenal there? Are they up to date? What's going on inside New York, the streets of New York, the barrios and Chicago, so on and so forth? What's the street organizations, the school? What type of common ground? You know what I'm saying? Can people relate from Puerto Rico is saying and New York, Chicago, so on and so forth. And in which ways are people? Do they communicate a lot with the Instagram, Facebook? What ways can people, you know what I'm saying, find ways, points of unity to relate? You know what I'm saying, for these different locales.
Yeah, so first, you don't need, as an American citizen born in the United States, a passport to go to Puerto Rico, because we are a colony and we also are American citizens on the island. Puerto Ricans on the island cannot vote for the President of the United States. And also, we do not have congressional representation. Why? Because we're not a state, right? So it's what it really is called is a Commonwealth status, right? But so if I'm in Puerto Rico when the election happens, I won't be able to vote. But if I'm home in Albany, New York, as a Puerto Rican, I will be able to vote. And we again have no voting representation, much like Washington D.C.
Washington D.C. Yes.
Washington D.C. Yeah, DC and us in Puerto Rico, we have what they call shadow Congress people. They can watch what's happening, but they are never allowed to give testimony or speeches or anything like that. Hip hop is huge and strong in Puerto Rico, and why? Because Puerto Ricans and West Indian folks and Jamaican folks, we created hip hop culture in the Bronx, and that's always been a cultural touchstone in Puerto Rico as well. In fact, when the protests were happening this summer, one of the biggest hip hop artists to come out of Puerto Rico ever, his name is Bad Bunny, teamed up with Presidente, who is a very well known international hip hop artist, and because of them, half of the island, I mean, we have 3 million people, and because of a lot of the work they did with young people, when we protested in the summer, we had 1.7 million people protest in Puerto Rico for a week. Half of the island protested. And this sustained protest, I was there for 2 weeks covering it, but it's still going on. Because the current governor we have is just as corrupt. And in the past 2 days, people are now beginning to find warehouses filled with thousands and thousands of pounds of donations from everyone in the world that were rotted and were not distributed after the hurricane. So the anger in Puerto Rico has been building, and I think this is another tipping point. But really, at the end, it's a colonial vestige of like the physical exists and the corporate colonialism exists. But for me, what I really think I work with young people is how are we going to decolonize your mindset? Because your mindset is colonized. So when you go to Puerto Rico now and you ask people, how are you? They're like, we're great. We're fine. Mm-hmm. We don't have clean water. I don't know when I'm going to eat, all of this, but I'm alive. And I have a different take on that of like, why as Puerto Ricans must we always be these super loving, beautiful people that we are? Why do we always have to be resilient? Why are we always surviving? Why do I have to pay $6 for an avocado in Puerto Rico that was grown in Puerto Rico? Why? Because of the colonial corporate relationship, which says any vegetables and fruits grown on the island of Puerto Rico have to be taken out of the island, exported, and then imported back, and then we get taxed on that. Mm. So it's so much to understand that sometimes people are like, this, I don't know anything about Puerto Rico. And honestly, where do we ever hear about Puerto Rico in any type of media except probably Black, very independent grassroots media? You only hear about it when it's a disaster. If not, we don't even exist on the island. People don't understand that at all.
Yes, indeed. I was given this abstract, like whether we talk, this the abstract Brazil, Puerto Rico, these different places. This is abstract vacationing without acknowledging the brutal realities. And in so many cases, U.S. imperialism, like the intentional plans they have for Cuba to be to be a vacation spot or a playpen for the ruling class. Um, give us again.
Exactly.
Yes, indeed. Give us again some contacts where people
And
can.
let me tell you,
Please.
Yeah, let me give some context.
Please.
Let me tell you one thing that I think I encourage people to read. There's a book by Naomi Klein called The Battle for Paradise. She wrote it right after. She was in Puerto Rico on the ground covering. And what is happening in Puerto Rico, and it's kind of hard for me to understand it, but anybody who knows about Bitcoin currency, what's happening in Puerto Rico is that there's a group of white men, young men, who are trying to start their own town, Puerto Rico, so that they can live there for 6 months and one day as U.S. citizens on the mainland. Because if you're a U.S. citizen on the mainland and you come to Puerto Rico for 6 months plus one day, you pay no taxes. You don't pay your state tax, you don't pay local, and you don't pay federal taxes. So these young white men are kind of seizing land without, and people will just find out. They don't know, nobody knows who owns anything because deeds don't exist. And they're trying to start this city called Protopia, or Puerto Rican Utopia, with gates around it in the middle of San Juan across the poorest part of Puerto Rico called La Bella, which is where we'll also see a lot of Afro-Puerto Ricans. So I encourage people to read Naomi Klein's book. People could go to my site called PRonthemap.com. There's videos, testimonies. I tell everybody it's free. Take it, share, show it to people. And then lastly, there's an organization called Defend Puerto Rico that does a lot of the cultural and artistic work with what's going on the island through like artistry and music and dance.
Right on. Revolutionary appreciation. These airways are always open. Comrades, so don't hesitate to hit us up. Keep us posted what's going on so we can make those connections. We cannot afford the luxury to set trip. You know what I'm saying? Just some of the dynamics that you pointed out. So just even the avocados being grown there have to be taken out and brought, tax brought back in. We can see this in, throughout Africa with the cocoa and other raw resources. People, the Sierra Leone with the diamonds. This is the nature of imperialism. It's a parasitical politics, it's a parasitical economy, and the deal is these places, these locations, can self-sustain. If if the tentacles of imperialism are not there, but it's a system that needs for us to be starving, and it comes to the expense. You mentioned even the crime rate. It's not just because people just all of a sudden have no morals. This is the underbelly of imperialism. This the trickle down of it. Talking about Chicago, it has transformers becoming a greater city. The trickle down effect is Chirac. The trickle down, at the expense of blood, sweat, and tears of the people. And this has to be acknowledged in a real deal way. We have to make these connections from colonized community to colonized community. And please, those who are not familiar with these terms, don't hesitate to call in and check them out. It's with these foreign entities, these foreign corporations, whether we're talking about Brazil, Puerto Rico, Haiti, Mississippi, wherever, they are benefiting at the expense of our lives. So we have to call these contradictions out, y'all. Real talk. We live and direct and free on my radio and
Thank you so much for having me, comrade. And anybody can reach me on social media, and I'm happy to always come on and update. And we got to take you down there. We got to take you and your people down there.
Yes, indeed. We're gonna make it happen.
Much love to y'all.
Man, revolutionary love, respect, and appreciation, y'all. We live and direct, y'all. We going coast to coast. In fact, free them all. We going outside the coast. We are exposing these contradictions, y'all. We have to lay this out because again, we hear about different places. There's a different Mississippi. We have to talk about what's happening in Parcham. We talk about Chicago, how beautiful the skyline looks. We have to talk about what's happening in Chirac. I'm talking about just this past week alone, weekend alone, the murders. We are talking about, the brutal reality of what's happening. We have to make these connections, y'all. So to come right down, you got any more callers in queue?
Free them all, Brother Chairman. No callers in queue. Callers, please press 1 to come in queue. Free them all.
Free them all. Y'all feel free to call in. We on the countdown on time. Like I said, put the word out. They have, I don't know what the deal is. They may have given me, they don't give me no notice, so it might just be pushed off Facebook. It's like in our situation, a lot of times we don't get to, like, even on the different jobs, you don't get no notice, no pink slips come in. The locks has changed, so I think they changed the locks on me on Facebook. You know what I'm saying? So we keep y'all posted, because I can't get on. I'm getting a blank screen. So let people know the countries we experiencing. We on cloud 1,000. We are proletarian revolutionary, intoxicated. You know what I'm saying? Again, and as Chairman Fred said, half the people y'all been back to back on these campaigns. You know, the campaign to say the Hampton House. Also, the Cash App is back up. So again, y'all can Cash App $ save the Hampton House. That's back in effect. We need y'all support. We're gonna need warm bodies in the house. We're gonna be working on this week. You know what I'm saying? Putting that drywall up and doing some actual, you know what I'm saying, up the Andy, because we still got a lot of work to do to save the Hampton House. The Moms for Housing. We're gonna be doing this Sister City Exchange program, getting them to Oak, Chicago, vice versa. And I'm gonna get up there, we'll get that grill up there and do what it do. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna be moving and grooving, you know what I'm saying? We're gonna touch down to Nashville, Tennessee. Tying this in, and also Adam supposed to hit us up about what's happening in LA. Because the deal is this contradictions, you know what I'm saying, they put us out our houses, directly, indirectly, whatever term they're using, taking our children, whether they use it called the Department of Children and Family Services, the Atlanta Child Welfare Agency, whatever nice word they're using. The deal is these attacks are hitting us all over. So we have to be armed with a politic to touch down in Puerto Rico, to touch down in Brazil, Haiti, because also the resources. We talk about the cobalt, the gold, just the resources. And even there's another book I recommend y'all check out too, Economic Hitman. And it shows how some of the gangster tactics the U.S. imperialism, they implemented, the move you out, you know what I'm saying? Eminent domain, manifest destiny. These are nice words to say get out, you know what I'm saying? So we want to pull the covers off, you know what I'm saying? Show these brutal terms. We start using brutal terms for brutal realities. We on the countdown, last 3 minutes, y'all. But again, y'all make sure y'all tune in with us, keep updated with us. Hit us up GoFundMe.com/Save the Hampton House 50, and also Cash App $ Save the Hampton House. Let's make history. Let's take history. Let's tape history. I don't know what's like I say. Y'all touch down the comrades in the meantime between time. I think we under serious attack by the counterinsurgency. I'll talk about more to that next show. Agent Vacateurs, all have been coming at us real heavy. So it might not get my page shut down. You know what I'm saying? I ain't even no notice. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. No, we're gonna expose what it is. That's what we're gonna expose what it is. Meantime, between time, and after that, keep y'all heads up, eyes open, and fists clenched. What's the call? Free them all. Let's make history. Let's take history. Tape history. Another episode, y'all. It's been a ball. What's the call? Free them all.